Alright, trade recap June 9th. Yesterday, I did not take a trade. That's why I didn't have a trade recap. But today we caught a freaking banger. Crazy, crazy banger. Yeah, already was bearish yesterday, and going into today, I was also still bearish. So, what did I see? Okay. Well, first of all, on the daily chart, we have prior day low and prior day high, right? These are the two levels that you should always be marking out on your chart, regardless of before you even develop your bias, right? So, and then on the 4 hour, we can see that this huge move down right here. So when you see something big drop like this, you kind of want price to be rebalancing the range, meaning, you want price to drop down lower, and then go back up here somewhere to grab liquidity, then go lower. You don't want when I see price like this, I don't think that it's just gonna go all the way up like that. Like that's really unlikely. It's gonna either go down here, down, and if it really wanted to continue down, then continue up, it would have to go pull back at least a little right here and then go higher. It's just not gonna shoot it right away. That's why I saw this kind of move as it's just like a mini pullback into somewhere up here in the range. And also another thing too is that on the 4 hour, yes, you kind of see that we're disrespecting these bearish gaps, meaning we're inversing them, but then we're also respecting bullish caps, right? And you can say, oh, we're disrespecting bearish and we're respecting bullish, so why aren't you bullish? The reason why is, one, we haven't swept any major liquidity level down here, right? Like, look at this. Like, this move, okay, maybe if price had swept down here and then got up, then I would be kind of like, okay, maybe we're due for a pullback right here. But right here, like, there's no liquidity sweep, there's no liquidity that's grabbed. This is just heavy drop down and then just a small move back up, right? Like, to me, this is just a pullback. On top of that, like, look at all this low resistance liquidity, meaning like these are just stacked lows. Like it doesn't just shoot up right away. If it shot up right away, then okay, like I'm kind of more bullish in that aspect. But in this right here, you kind of see it just trending slowly higher. So that's another thing why I was bearish going into the day. And also was because like we had prior day high up here, we had a 15-minute gap up here, and also another 4-hour gap up here. Like these were all levels that I wanted price to trade into before going lower, right? I'll get into my targets later, but essentially these are the levels up here that it was just like, it was stacked liquidity up here. Like I'm not gonna take longs when my stop loss is all the way down here. This doesn't look right. You're longing in the middle of the range when really you should be looking for a liquidity grab up here to be taking lower like this. This would make more sense, right? Targeting that. So in my opinion, I just thought that we were just rebalancing the range today or in the morning. That's why, I had prior to the high marked, 15-minute fair value got marked, and then this 4-hour gap up here. On the 1 hour, I didn't see any other gaps besides this one. That's why I marked it as 1 hour, 4 hour. I honestly wasn't expecting price to go all the way up here. I just wrote this out, or I just marked this out just because, it was there. But I really didn't expect price to go all the way up here. I was mainly focused on how price would react in this general area. I think I alerted it in the Discord. I said pre-market plan. Yeah, I drew like a little arrow pointing upwards. But yeah, I didn't want price to go all the way up to previous day high. And then also, even if we were long, like I honestly wouldn't want price, or I ideally would have wanted price to go at least tap into this and then go higher, which obviously we were already trending higher at open, so that was another key thing. So at open, I was just waiting essentially for this level to get hit up here, but I drew up my targets right here. This was a 15-minute fair value gap, as well as London lows. All right, and another 15-minute gap right here that we could target. 15-minute fair value gap, and then all the way down here is Asia lows. Asia low, yeah, right here. And then this 15-minute fair value gap right here. So essentially, I was looking for something to happen like this. I wanted price to go up, sweep higher, and then displace lower. So yeah, I was waiting on the 5. As I was waiting on the 5, tap into prior day high, and then we get a rejection out of it. Something I immediately see is this 5-minute gap right here, right? This 5-minute gap, bullish. So we tapped into prior day high, right? And I'm looking at a 5-minute gap. We don't inverse it, but what do we do right here? We immediately just go down. Obviously, I didn't want to just jump into shorts right away, but this rejection move right here kind of confirmed to me that, okay, yeah, like prior day high was swept. Now we're kind of bearish. Now I'm just waiting. So we sweep up higher, right? At this point, I'm still not into longs yet, right? This is just a small move up. Grab liquidity at this 15-minute fair value gap right here. And then also, what do we happen right here? What do we see? Another 5-minute gap that gets created. And then right at this point right here, I'm looking at the 5, but I'm also looking at the 4-minute. And the 4-minute was the one where I saw it at. So the 4-minute inverse. Yeah, the 4-minute up here inversed. So I'm looking at this 4-minute, and I took shorts right here. I think I alerted out. I said I took early shorts at interested in shorts at 656, and I took 1 or 2 short entries here with my stop loss above here, targeting obviously this. And I'll get into why I held all the way to Asia lows. So this 4-minute, I saw that this 4-minute got inversed, not one but two. Both of them just got inversed right here. So that was already a confirmation for me. And then right when I went on the 5-minute, I kept waiting for this to be inversed. This was not an inverse. If you kind of see, if you zoom in, there was a little bit gap right here, you know, and things like that matter a lot. You know, it has to fully inverse. So as I'm continuing waiting on the 5-minute, waiting on the 5. Once this 5-minute closed, it kind of confirmed to me, okay, yeah, my position is safe now. And also another confirmation too was at 7 o'clock, this 4-hour candle closed bearish. You know, this 4-hour candle closed bearish at our key level, which is even a better sign for me. And then from there, I'm still waiting on the 5-minute. I'm looking at the 5-minute. I'm looking at the candle strength. You know, I'm already in profit at this point, and I'm waiting. Right when this London lows and 15-minute fair value gap closes through, I immediately just take one off there, and I move my stop loss to break even there. And then from there, since usually I would just go all out at my lowest hanging fruit, but if you can see the way this candle closed, it was just so strong that like I had to hold, or I had a runner all the way to Asia low. Like usually you should just take all profit here, and that's nothing wrong with it, right? But I had one runner left at my break even, so I just decided to hold all the way to Asia lows, which was the end of this LRL right here anyways, you know? Right here. Like this whole range right here. From this high to this low, you know, it's kind of that major swing, right? Major swing. You see how this is a major swing point right here? Yeah, and that was basically why I was targeting Asia low. But as you can see, like the volume was just so strong that holding a runner was just so easy, you know, and then eventually it just hit. I didn't even take profit here. I waited all the way to Asia low because the DOL was just so obvious. Yeah, I eventually just hit right there, dude. Freaking 3.23R trade for the day, bro. Insane. So that's why sometimes like I plan for just 101s, which is like the lowest hanging fruit right here. And if in the case that it's just like a strong candle like this and we have another clear target down here, there's no reason I shouldn't hold. But for starters, and then just to learn, you should always be looking for the closest target and then take your profit there, right? It's better when you're in the beginning to just see that profit in your bank and then or in your balance, and just, you know, it gives you confidence or motivation to just continue finding those setups. But if you're always looking to trade and target, this is your first TP, you know, it's not going to go so well. Like targeting high resistance liquidity like this is just a lot harder than to get the lowest hanging fruit. Obviously, yes, it worked out today, but you know, like 9 times out of 10, it's not always gonna be this easy. You know, this trade took a total of like from 6:55 to 7:40, so like I want to say roughly an hour. But even then, still like, you know, this was honestly an easy hold for me, just because like it just immediately dropped right away. That's why I want to also note another thing too, is that having your drawn liquidity is so important, because a lot of people would just see this like, oh, we're trending higher, but then like we're not delivering from anywhere, you know. People might think, oh, like we're bullish, but you fail to realize that look at the bigger picture. We're actually just bearish right now. We're actually just, look at this big move. This is just a pullback move to go lower. And after even it hit Asia low, I was like, dude, yeah, this is going to priority low, dude. Like, and it just hit priority low. Dang, obvious if I held through that would be insane, but you know, hindsight's always 20/20. Also another thing, I already knew that it was going to freaking to priority low, so I had moved my stop loss to, or I switched my stop loss to my TP right here, and I would eventually would have got stopped out anyway with this candle, so I'm not really salty about it. But damn, look at this clean move right here, dude. This is like textbook, just clean. Yeah, honestly, like days like this come rarely, and you shouldn't be targeting for like these major swing points anyways, you know. That's why I always say, like, I'm always catching the lowest hanging fruit. I took profit here, you know. I secured my profit here, moved my stop loss to break even, and it was a risk-free trade, and I was just able to hold it because of volume, you know. If it wasn't volume, I would have got stopped out at my TP, and that would have been okay too. So let me see another thing to note. Yeah, higher time frame always gives you the better picture, you know. Don't focus too much on like, whenever you see a move like this, you have to ask yourself, where is it coming from? Like, obviously this is going up, but where did it start? Where did this move start? Did it start at a significant key level, or is it just like at a random place on the charts, right? Usually if it's at a random place on the charts, it's not a legitimate pullback, and a legitimate reversal. It's just a small pullback to continue with the trend, right? This is the continuation from this big move all the way down here. And honestly, like, dude, we're looking pretty bearish going into this week as well as the next week. Like, if we can hold, or if we can close under this, dude, we're looking at fucking all the way down here possibly, you know. We don't know, or I don't know, but we have all this weekly range to rebalance. I'm thinking maybe down here, but yeah, man, honestly, I'm excited for the end of this week and going into next week. I love taking shorts. So all right, I'll catch you guys tomorrow.